All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are going to break down an incredibly powerful mental model from none other than Steve Jobs himself. His philosophy on how to truly focus by separating the signal from the noise.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had one of those days, the ones you're bouncing between emails, you're crossing things off a to-do list, you're constantly moving, but when you finally sit down at the end of the day, you have this sinking feeling that you didn't actually get anything important done? Yeah, it's a super common feeling, and it gets right to the heart of what we're talking about today.
So let's start by giving this problem a name. We'll call it the busy trap. And at its core, there's this weird little thing that feels an awful lot like an addiction to noise.
So how exactly does this trap work? Well, it's really a battle between two different forces. On one side, you've got what we call tactical busyness. That's filling your day with all of the small, easy stuff, answering that quick email, organizing a few files. Each time you do one, your brain gets a tiny little reward, a little dopamine hit that makes you feel productive. But really, this is often just a clever way to hide from what's on the other side, strategic laziness. And that's just a fancy term for avoiding the big, hard, maybe even scary work that is the only thing that will actually move your biggest goals forward. We get hooked on the feeling of progress, not actual progress itself.
This is exactly where Steve Jobs' framework is such a game changer. It's a mental model designed for one thing: clarity. And it really all boils down to two simple ideas: signal and noise.
First, let's talk about the signal. Think of this as the pure, clear information that actually matters. It's the high-impact work, writing that critical first draft, brainstorming that new project, having that one difficult but necessary conversation. It's usually kind of tough and requires real deep focus, but it's the stuff that gets you real results. And then, of course, on the other side, you've got the noise. This is, well, it's pretty much everything else. The constant notifications, the never-ending stream of messages, the little busy work tasks that could probably wait. And here's the really sneaky part. Noise feels like work. It definitely keeps us busy, but it does absolutely nothing for our main goals. It's just static, drowning out that beautiful, clear signal.
So how did a guy like Jobs actually put this into practice? Well, he was an absolute master of subtraction. His entire philosophy wasn't just about choosing what to do. It was really, and more importantly, about choosing what not to do. It was all about harnessing the incredible power of the word no.
I mean, get this. When Steve Jobs came back to Apple in the late 90s, the company was a total mess, just bleeding money. And one of his very first moves was to take a giant axe to the product line, cutting it by a mind-blowing 70%. He just chopped away all the noise, all the confusing competing products, so the company could pour all of its energy into just a handful of core signals that would, go on to change the world. And this quote from him, man, it just says everything, doesn't it? Focus isn't about your to-do list. It's an active, ongoing process of elimination. It's about having the discipline to say no, even to some really good ideas, so that you can protect your time and energy for the truly great ones. It's about clearing out the clutter so the real signal has a chance to come through.
And look, this isn't just a strategy for a tech CEO. It's an incredibly powerful tool for our own lives. Applying the power of no can be as simple as this: saying no to those social events that you know are just going to drain your energy, or saying no to hoarding more information, like all those online courses we buy and then never actually open. And this is a big one: saying no to our own perfectionism on little tasks that just don't matter that much. Every single no in these areas is actually a huge yes to your focus.
Okay, so this all sounds really powerful, but let's be honest, how do we make it practical? Because just relying on willpower, well, that's a losing battle. The real key is to build a simple, repeatable system that helps you find the signal every single day. Here is a dead simple 3-step system you can start using tomorrow. Step 1, choose just one priority for the day. And you do that by asking this question: what is the one thing that will move my most important goal the furthest today? This forces you to get crystal clear. Step 2, protect a 90-minute block of time just for that task. This is a pretty well-known cycle for deep work where our brains can really hit their peak. So, phone on silent, notifications off, just pure, uninterrupted time on your signal. And step 3, which is just as important as the others, rest strategically. Focus is a muscle, and it gets tired. Taking a walk, stretching, even just staring out the window for 5 minutes. That isn't being lazy, that's recovery. It's actually part of the work.
All right, let's wrap this all up by talking about the real goal here, because it's a subtle but really important shift in how we think about this.
So here's the most important takeaway. You will never, ever eliminate all the noise in your life. It's impossible. Distractions will pop up, interruptions will happen. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's simply the consistent, conscious practice of pausing, finding the signal again, and gently guiding your attention back to it, over and over and over again. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Tomorrow, when all the chatter and chaos starts competing for your attention, what is the one true signal that you're going to listen for? What's the one thing that will actually move you forward? Find it, protect it, and go make it happen.